Hello, I'm Davia Chambers and this is Let's Talk Tobago. Today we're at Bishop's High School in Scarborough, the first secondary school to be opened in Tobago in 1925, thanks in part to the efforts of James Bigart. It's also the first co-educational Anglican school, which the Vice Principal believes has been the cornerstone of developing and nurturing individuals who will continue to represent Tobago in a positive and impactful way. Did you know that Trinidad and Tobago's first governor of the central bank, Victor E. Bruce, attended this school? Add to that list the Chief Justice Ivor Archie, Bishop Claude Berkeley, the late Arthur N.R. Robinson, the only person to have served as chairman of the Tobago House of Assembly, the Prime Minister and President. Even the Chief Secretary, Orville London, is a past pupil of Bishop's. As the program continues, we'll tell you more about this high school. But first, let's tell you what's happening in our stories this week. Funding for the Rockley Bay Archaeological project. 17 more residents of Adelphi Estate get leases, and as we get into the festive season, a look at the Botanical Gardens and Louis D'Or Nursery.
A message from the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service. Teach children how to escape on their own in case you can't help them. Close doors behind you as you leave. If the smoke alarm sounds, get out and stay out. Never go back inside. If you have to escape through smoke, get low and go under the smoke to your way out. Call the fire service from outside your home. A message from the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service.
This is Let's Talk Tobago and we're on location at Bishop's High School in Scarborough. We're told that this stone was laid in the presence of Princess Margaret on February 5th in 1955 when the school was relocated from Sans Souci to Scarborough. Each day, 720 students and 64 teachers enter the gates of this distinguished establishment, each aspiring to exercise excellence in accordance with the school's motto. Evidence of this is in this year's CAPE exams, which saw Bishop securing 8 scholarships, 2 of which are open scholarships, which means that the recipients Rachel Boudram and Verneth Joseph can attend any tertiary institution of their choice. Rachel and Verneth also received the Chief Secretary's Awards for outstanding academic performance. But let's leave it there for now to turn our attention to the Rockley Bay Archaeological project. As you might be aware, Tobago is collaborating with a U.S. university and other stakeholders to find and conserve artifacts from the 1677 battle between the Dutch and French in this island's waters. The archaeological investigation into 17th century shipwrecks has already started. So far, the team has recovered what they believe to be the largest Dutch ship involved in the battle, cannons, fragments of small arms, cutlery, dozens of smoking pipes and pieces of pottery. These artifacts will be preserved at a facility right here in Scarborough, and as Keyshawn Wilson tells us, that facility just received additional funding.
This is the conservation facility of the Rockley Bay Archaeological project in Scarborough for the rescue, treatment and preservation of the cultural material from the Scarborough Harbour. It isn't yet completed, but it's getting there, and it will benefit from the $15,000 received from the ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands to purchase furniture and equipment for the lecture room of the conservation facility.
And it also makes me proud to be a part of this educational but also cultural heritage center as a part of Tobago, but also as a part of Dutch cultural history. And that's why the Dutch government and the Netherlands Embassy strongly support all your efforts, and also the cooperation with the Dutch cultural heritage services.
The check was presented to the Secretary for Tourism and Transportation, who says this is a project that will see endless opportunities and potential for the development of cultural tourism here in Tobago. I'm Keyshawn Wilson for Let's Talk Tobago.
The 49-acre Adelphi Estate runs from as far as Hope to Mason Hall and has seen generations of Tobagonians calling the estate home, but many of them have been living on the land without legal documents. Thankfully, this is changing. The estate was purchased by the Tobago House of Assembly back in 2008 for about $13 million, and today the Assembly is bringing comfort to many families by giving them the titles to the land. Caroline Wallace shares the story of the latest lease distribution.
It's an early Christmas present for 17 residents of Adelphi Estate in Mason Hall. Some who have been living in the area for over 60 years now have leases for the land on which their homes are built.
You have title, you now have some form of title to your land, which is recognizable by any financial institution in the country. Any bank you go to, they would recognize it. And as such, this is indeed valuable.
Valuable indeed, as having ownership to the land would improve the quality of life for all the residents, something the Assembly is adamant about.
Land means so much to people. It is not just handing over a piece of paper and saying you're the owner. It has a lot more sentiments than that. And I want to charge you, as what the Chief Secretary has said, don't just receive it so you could take it and sell it to somebody.
And from all appearances, the residents have taken that admonition to heart.
I want to say thank you for this lease that you have given to us.
The 199-year lease is transferable to children of the recipients. To date, over 100 of the 208 plots of land have been distributed. I am Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
Lowlands got a new multi-purpose facility, but now it's Lambo's turn. The community will benefit from 11 stations in the computer room, just to list one of the key features of the new building. The center has also been identified as a location for vocational skills training.
The color makes it impossible to miss if you're traversing Lambo. That's the new $8 million Lambo multipurpose facility.
We must admit that it is very beautiful and a pride to behold. Sitting atop of our relatively new sporting facility and further enhancing our village along with our recently opened fishing facility.
The multipurpose facility is outfitted with a kitchen with double amenities, an audiovisual room, a computer room, an administrative room, and a seating capacity for over 1,000.
Now tell me, what more does Lambo want? We say thank you to the Tobago House of Assembly for all these goodies.
All the Division of Community Development and Culture is asking in return is for the villagers to fully utilize the center, capitalizing on the talent in the area.
I am powerful. Whatever I set my mind on having, I will have. Whatever I decide to be, I will be. The evidence is all around me. The power of my will has brought me precisely to where I am right now.
I'm Keishon Wilson for Let's Talk Tobago.
We're taking a break, but coming up, why Tobago is undertaking a wildlife survey. Welcome back. You're viewing Let's Talk Tobago, and today we're at Bishop's High School in Scarborough. This trophy cabinet is testament to the fact that students at Bishop's have proven themselves to be more than conquerors, one of the school's graduation themes. The school has acquired almost 1,000 trophies, awards, and medals in the areas of sports, arts, sciences, in fact, in almost every discipline. Just last year, Sophia Moore, now a past student, won the Eric Williams School Bags Essay Competition. It said that the secret to Bishop's success is the students' desire to achieve greatness, coupled with the high standards set by their teachers, 3 of whom won the coveted Teacher of the Year award. Now, the next subject is not directly related to education, at least not in the strictest of sense, but it will be of interest to students interested in agriculture, the environment, and/or conservation. As you know, in Trinidad and Tobago, wild meat of any kind is quite popular. So much so, animals such as the agouti, iguana, manikou, deer, and the wild hog are believed to be endangered. To reverse this trend, a plan is now in place to protect our wild animals from extinction. There's now a 2-year ban on hunting, but that's not the only action being taken. Let's join Omodara Mills to find out what Tobago is doing to ensure future generations know what our wild animals look like.
Many people cook and eat wild meat, but game species such as the agouti, the green iguana, mat, tattoo or armadillo, and the quenk or wild hog also need protection. It's part of the reason they're on the list for the 3-year National Wildlife Survey. Other vulnerable species such as the crab-eating raccoon, the tyra, and the caiman on the Tobago landscape have also been included in the Tobago phase of the survey.
In Tobago, these are species that we feel or we suspect are endangered or getting there, and so we want to be able to include them in the survey so we can have scientific information as to their status, population status, their density, where we can find them still in Tobago. So it can help us in terms of managing the population, to conserve their existence.
Locals from over 6 environmental and conservation organizations will be trained and get involved in the wildlife data collection, which will take place in the 8 farming districts as well as 30 areas in the main ridge. An initiative that has many environmentalists eager.
It was something long in the making. I think it is good for the country. If we need to know the exact quantities of animals and the flora and fauna, we need to do more than this survey, and that will determine how we live, how we plan and go forward.
There are plans to use the data that will be collected to create better wildlife protection strategies.
Having information that will provide a baseline database so that we can be able to better manage. The THA will be able to have the necessary policy in place because they are now informed with information that would have been collected from this survey, so that we can be able to, have a better conservation program in Tobago led by the THA.
The Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment has also started wildlife farming workshops in an effort to increase the number of game animals on the island and encourage greater environmental preservation. The THA, the Environmental Management Agency, and the University of the West Indies are collaborating for the success of this project. It's hoped that the first phase will be completed before the end of this year. I'm Omodara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Sun, sand, sea and safety is what Destination Tobago is known for. A small reason the island is also billed the capital of paradise. Visitors come from all over the world to experience Tobago's hospitality and warmth. They want to lounge at Pigeon Point, swim in the Nylon Pool, trek through the Bloody Bay rainforest, and that's just us getting started. Tobago's list of tourist attractions is long, but these points of interest could easily be overshadowed if tourists are unhappy with their accommodations. That's why all is being done to get the island's hotels and bed and breakfast facilities up to scratch. One such effort has already borne fruit.
The Enchanted Waters Hotel and Patino's Restaurant and Bar has reopened with major upgrades that elevated the facility to a 3-star rated resort. The hotel now boasts 10 rooms, 2 with jacuzzi, and on the same premises, the restaurant can seat up to 96 persons. $2.4 million upgrade was made possible through an assistance program hosted by the Division of Tourism and Transportation.
With certain small properties that met with the approval of the THA, right, for upgrading and renovating with a view to raising the standards to a minimum 3-star and improving the room stock in Tobago. And we were very fortunate to be selected, and we are very grateful to the THA for what they have done for us to improve this facility. And I feel it could be somewhat considered in the small properties a flagship bearer.
The pilot of this upgrade program started with 6 establishments: Patino's, Viola's Place, Old Grange Inn, Cano Bay Beach Resort, Castle White, and Arthur's by the Sea. Viola's has since completed its upgrade. The project manager with the Division of Tourism and Transportation, Daniel Nicholson, describes some of the work.
provided new beds, new side tables, new televisions, new fridges for a facility to be 3-star. They must have their own, almost self-contained. So you had your fridges, you had tiling of the rooms, new showers and whole bathroom facilities, mirrors, ironing boards and ironing boards and so on. Assistance was also given for in the cases where people had to redo their roof and other outside works.
Mr. Nicholson says that as the program progresses, the training of staff would also be incorporated. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
As the year draws to a close, many have already started reflecting on 2014, the accomplishments, the disappointments, and the areas that can be improved. But that's not only being done on a personal level. This island is taking a macro view. But to celebrate those who've gone above and beyond for Tobago, it's Tobago's way of publicly recognizing their own and saying a big thank you. In case you missed it, here's a look at the Tobagonians who've made outstanding contributions over the last year. It's a celebration of excellence.
Academic achievements dominated this year's Chief Secretary Awards ceremony, with recognition given to Rachel Boudram and Gwyneth Joseph, the 2 national Open Scholarship winners on the island in the area of natural science. Dr. Wendell Wallace has been recognized for his 2014 academic successes that include becoming the first student of criminology and criminal justice in the Caribbean to successfully defend a PhD dissertation at the University of the West Indies. The principal of the Scarborough RC School, Philip Rochford, got an award for his gallantry efforts when he rushed to the rescue of one of the students under his charge. Business owner of Springtime Food Products Limited, Charmaine Springer, has been recognized with the Entrepreneurship Award for her innovations in the culinary industry, with products such as peeled garlic, grated coconut, and smoked pigtail. The Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort is excelling in the tourism industry. The resort receives the Chief Secretary Tourism Award for their successes as the Trinidad and Tobago's best hotel and winner of the World Golf Awards. Joel Positive Murray is the winner of 8 Caribbean Gospel Music Marlin Awards, and with his achievements over the past year, he receives an award in the area of culture and entertainment. The Chief Secretary Awards is part of the THA's 34th anniversary celebrations.
We never let go, we never let go, we never let go.
I'm Umadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Time for us to take another break, but do stay with us to find out which art pieces will grace the pages of the Chief Secretary's calendar for next year.
Avoid buying toys which comprise of toxic or flammable materials. For infants, toddlers and children who put small objects in their mouths, avoid toys with small parts as they pose a choking hazard.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tobago. Thanks for staying with us at Bishop's High School in Scarborough. Right now we're at the Sylvan Bowles Hall, named after a national awardee who received this country's highest honor, what was then named the Trinity Cross. Sylvan Bowles is also one of this school's biggest benefactors. And this baby grand piano, well, it was imported all the way from Germany in the 1990s when Bishops won the very first national science quiz. We're told that since then, the school has used it to wow audiences in the music festival. Bishops also has its own steel pan orchestra and was the first secondary school in Tobago to teach agricultural science. Since then, the school has come a long way, rearing its own chickens and growing its own herb seasonings and agricultural crops, which the students sell to parents during Bishop's Market Day. The halls of Bishops have probably seen its fair share of artists. This school perhaps nurtured the passion of many hoping to become the next Louise Kimmy. But here is not the only place that's happening. Outside of these walls, there's a competition for secondary school students who wish to showcase and share their artistic talent. At the end of the day, their pieces not only make it into art galleries, but are displayed on printed calendar. But not just any calendar, the Chief Secretaries. Time to find out who got the 12 coveted spots.
Speyside High School has done it again. They are returning to the East with the title of winner of the Chief Secretary's 2014 art competition because of this piece, Market Crab, done by 17-year-old Takuma Charles. Takuma won $3,000, and his work will grace the cover of the Chief Secretary's 2015 calendar. An added bonus, his school received $10,000.
I'm very happy today that I'm won. I put in 100% into this piece, and I'm very delightful to go with this winning prize.
One of his art teachers, Tom Lee Roberts, says he believes the print-making technique used by Takuma gave him an edge.
And the technique which he would have employed is the print-making technique, which is a very difficult technique where he utilized the linoleum block and actually reduced the block to nothing to produce that print. It's basically a suicide technique because after you're finished with the block, nothing could be done with that. All right, so I'm very, very happy. So I'm happy for Takuma.
As for the principal, she sees the benefit of these victories to the institution. She says students will now be motivated to enter the contest.
I'm very, very happy for the young man who won, Takuma, because Takuma is one of those students who would have transformed inside of the art room. It's amazing to go inside there and to see students who other teachers will complain about, who are unsettled, cannot concentrate, but in the art room something magical happens there, and those children are there concentrating at length, long hours.
The other 11 students each got a month in the Chief Secretary's art calendar and were also awarded $1,500. Merit awards were also given by the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport and the Division of Community Development and Culture. I am Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
And that's not the only avenue that's giving our young people a voice. Our students are sharing their opinions on local and national issues. Internal self-governance for Tobago took center stage in the space where this island's leaders discuss, debate and pass motions, the Assembly's legislative chambers.
We are working towards autonomy. Is Tobago ready for internal self-government? I say yes, since clearly the issue is not that we are not capable, rather the issue is when will they give us the opportunity. I thank you.
That's the youth in the seat of the THA's Chief Secretary over London at the first 2014 session of the Youth Parliament. And just like Mr. London, Kia, who's from Bishop's High School, is advocating for Tobago to have greater control over its own affairs. Now, unlike the current makeup of the Assembly, which does not have a minority, this legislative experience allowed the youths to participate in what is known as a divided house. And with that comes opposition to the motion. This found a voice in the student sitting in the seat of Minority Leader Davia Chambers of Scarborough Secondary School.
As a Tobagonian, I only want the best for my island, a view that hopefully would be shared by everyone in this chamber. However, Madam Presiding Officer, there seems to be a burning desire and a self-serving agenda of an over-ambitious and zealous elite who are hell-bent on carrying Tobago down a particular road that has been undefined and not clearly stated, Madam Presiding Officer.
The 10 secondary schools on the island participated in the debate, with students filling the positions of assemblymen and leader of assembly business, all getting a chance to voice their position on the issue. Similar to the official legislative proceedings, the motion was finally put to a vote.
Be it resolved that this House consider and approve a course of action to facilitate the process of self-government for Tobago. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The motion is therefore carried.
And there have been positive reviews of this second annual Youth Assembly.
Feedback that I have gotten suggests that the standard was a bit higher than it was last year, and that overall it was a fairly good effort.
The youths also filled the positions of councillors, presiding officer, clerk and deputy clerk of the House, and attendants. In an effort to have young people gain a greater understanding of the island's governing process, there are plans to provide them with trips abroad to view the legislative proceedings of other countries and have more youth assembly sittings like this one. I'm Umadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Switching focus, let's tell you where you can find over 25,000 lights in Tobago during this festive season. It's the closest thing to the lighting of the Rockefeller Christmas tree. One major difference is that Tobago has chosen to light not just one tree, but many in the Botanical Gardens and the Louis Dorr Nursery. This is part of this island's tradition, and this year it was no different. The lights have been officially switched on. Here's a look at what to expect.
Christmas lights in Tobago signals the start of the season of joy, peace and goodwill. Christmas lights also create a spectacle for many in Tobago, as evident here in Botanical Gardens in Scarborough and the Louis Dorr Nursery.
It is my hope that the beautiful lights here tonight bring you, your family and friends, the joy of the Christmas season.
Many turned out to witness the tree lighting ceremonies in both areas.
From inception, the public's response has been overwhelming, and it gets greater and greater every year. The level of appreciation is a major source of encouragement to us in the Tobago House of Assembly. It indicates in no uncertain term that this is one of the more pleasant experiences that we go through yearly.
And as the lights were switched on, this was the sight. No tree is devoid of lights. This is the 7th annual tree lighting ceremony in Louis Dorr and the 10th year at the Botanical Gardens. The lights will be turned on every day from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. until January 7th. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's time to have your say, the segment of our program where we hear from you, our viewers. Now, as we told you earlier, students from this island's secondary schools took the places of our assemblymen and councillors, if only for a few hours, to share their opinion on the issue of internal self-government. That exercise is expected to be the beginning of regular sittings for our youth. The idea is to give them a chance to participate in this island's democratic process. They'll debate some of the very motions expected to come before the Assembly, as well as issues of national importance. So today we're asking, what are the benefits of having a youth assembly? This is what you said.
The important thing is that you're going to be nurturing the youths into how to behave, and it's important.
I think having the benefits of youth assembly is to express what they have, the talent, the hidden talent, and they can benefit them in the future coming days.
It will prepare them for what actually happens in the parliament, and it also prepares them for the future.
I think it would benefit the youth in that they would be more aware of politics, and if they're interested in getting to that at an older age, it will also benefit them.
And that's how we bring this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago to a close. Remember, you can send us your comments or queries on anything you've seen in this program to information@tha.gov.tt, or even visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Davia Chambers, and on behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, have a safe and enjoyable week. And as we go, let's leave you with some final images of Bishop's High School right here in Scarborough.